Well, welcome back to the Comic Book Bullies with Nerd is a New Bully. I'm your host, Leroy, a.k.a. Baby It's Cold Outside. With my co-host.
This is Eli, aka Beefcake Almighty.
Now, that's a good porn name. Oh, yeah, so we're back with another episode, and yeah, it's getting closer and closer to Christmas, and well, before we actually get into it, Eli, apparently we had a celebrity death, so we got to get into that. We got to acknowledge. Yeah, so let's go ahead and knock that out. I'm gonna let you handle this one because I feel like it's more your wheelhouse than mine.
Which one?
Um,
Danny Aiello?
All of them, yeah. Whichever one you want to do.
Rest in peace, Danny Aiello. Well-known actor. Do the Right Thing. Godfather 2.
Harlem Nights.
Moonstruck. He actually played Jack Ruby once, too. Yeah. The Professional. It's a character actor. Sure, people know who, they see him, they know who he is. He passed away. He was old. So rest in peace to that guy.
Yeah. And one more. I guess we can go ahead and talk about that one because I don't.
Oh, Papa Wu.
Yeah.
Yeah, Papa Wu, a Wu-Tang Clan affiliate. I think he was like RZA's uncle or RZA's cousin or something. He's helped them get their start, and he's actually appeared on a few songs here and there.
Not rapping, was
he? He not really. I know he did something on. He appeared like on bonus tracks and stuff like that, but he's mainly behind the scenes. So.
Well, I mean, you got to have that one person, so yeah.
Yeah. Helped them get their start and stuff like that. Related to RZA. RZA was, RZA's family. I mean, most of them are cousins anyways, so.
Yeah, like RZA, Jizza, ODB. They've always said that in the TV show anyway, they're all cousins, so yeah.
Yeah, so rest in peace to Papa Wu.
Yeah. Yeah, hate to start the show off like that, but like I said, we got to acknowledge everybody, so. Yeah, that being said, like I said, we got so many more days left till Christmas. Eli, have you even started yet?
A little bit. I finally put my tree up tonight.
Awesome. You should have done that like before Thanksgiving, right?
Yeah, but I didn't. I didn't feel like moving shit around. I'm just lazy.
I mean, get a new tree, or you like had a tree and you just bring it out?
Actually, I did get a new tree. I got a smaller tree. The tree we had is like huge. And it always like takes up like half the fucking room and shit, because it's so big. So I was like, you know what? I saw a little tiny tree at Walgreens for $20. 6 foot. Not that big, but just right for my living room. You know what I mean? It doesn't take up all this room. I don't have to move furniture around and all that crap. So I was like, yeah, just put it up. It was really quick and easy, and bake some cookies.
Yeah, I mean, if you do it time, it kind of becomes, muscle memory, reflex after that. So yeah.
Yeah,
So
got the kids involved and shit. Listen to Nutcracker Suite.
What about Baby It's Cold Outside?
I didn't listen to that yet.
Well, they banned that song anyway, so.
Yeah.
After listening to this song, I was just like, you know what? I can kind of see what they're talking about, but they take it a little bit too seriously,
I don't even know what they're doing. Is this some more woke shit or something?
It is, but have you guys listened actually to the lyrics of "Baby It's Cold Outside"?
Probably not.
Okay, if you go back and listen to the lyrics, and you think about it, you're like, oh wait a minute. Okay, because the whole song is about she's trying to leave his house, and he keep making a bullshit excuse like, "Baby, it's cold outside. Don't leave." So they make it seem like it's toxic masculinity. About it. I'm like, okay, y'all a bit too woke for this song. It wasn't about that.
No shit. Yeah. Next thing you know, they're gonna be going after Marvin Gaye and Barry White and those creeps.
Right. So yeah, that's the thing with that. Only thing I've done so far, I don't get paid till Friday, so nobody's getting a present till Friday, and that's maybe even then. But there have been some Secret Santas that I've been entering in already. I don't know the people that I'm in the Secret Santa, so they're just getting gift cards. So while everybody else taking pictures of, ooh, I got this wine bottle and these socks, they just holding up a gift card. Thanks, asshole.
That's how I am. That's how I am. I say, no, if it ain't at Target, you ain't getting it.
I'm not leaving the house. Whatever you're getting is coming from Amazon or from some online site. I'm not going into a store and buying shit. I'm just letting you know that now.
Oh, yeah. Stores are crazy right now.
Basically. I mean, but stores aren't as bad as they used to be. Nobody's getting to fist fights in Black Fridays anymore because everybody's just buying stuff online now. You still got a few assholes that don't know how to work the internet and still doing that. But other than that, everybody else is buying stuff online. So,
Yeah.
yeah, that's my thing. Let me say, can we move into the next part of the podcast?
Yep.
All right, here we go. So this is the part where we talk about the box office numbers, and right now it's kind of boring, but don't worry, Eli, because next week it will be very interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So give it to me, Eli. What is the number one movie of the week?
Is it Frozen again?
It is not Frozen number two.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, they were beaten.
Oh, Jumanji came out. That's
Jumanji
right.
came out. Jumanji, the next level.
Okay.
Now you know me, Eli. You know I love the first one, not the first one, but the one before this one, the second one.
Still haven't seen that one.
Love that movie. Excuse me, coming down with a go. But the main thing is that the movie is it referenced so many video games. Of course, I saw all the video game tropes, and I guess it appealed to my demographic, I guess. So I guess it got me. Second one, just like, they told everything they need to say in the first one. So I'm like, I'm good, you know. So I'm glad it's doing good numbers, but I really don't care because I'm saving my money for next week. I'm not the type to go to the movies every single week. So if I know something else is coming out the week after, I'm good. Unless it's something I just gotta see. So yeah, Jumanji is number 2. Frozen is number 2. Frozen 2 is number 2. Number 3, Knives Out, still hanging in there. You did see that, didn't you?
I did see it. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought you did. Number 4, we have Richard Jewell. I think it's a Clint Eastwood movie.
Yeah, about the bomber. Not
Which bomber?
Atlanta. Atlanta, was it that remember back in the 90s at the Olympics, that bomb that went
guy.
off?
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Messed up. Okay. Number 5, Black Christmas.
I saw that.
Now give it to me. Now let me paint I'm gonna paint a scenario, Eli, and I'm gonna let you go. But this is a remake of a remake.
Sure.
So I guess we can understand why it debuted at number 5. But Eli, I know you got a chance to see this movie, so I'm gonna start naming this segment Eli Goes to the Movies.
Okay.
So go ahead and give it to us. What you think about it?
It sucked.
There we go. Number 6. Oh no, give me some more. Give me some more.
No, it sucked. It was PG-13. There was no kill scenes. There was no blood.
Yeah, a PG-13 horror movie.
Yeah, they no swearing. Like actually, there's a part where like I think they're about to say "suck my dick," but they cut out "suck my," and then it didn't say nothing. So it was
I
just
thought you
like
could say "suck my dick" in a PG. I guess you can. No, you can call somebody a dick, but you can't say "suck my dick." And PG-13 got weird rules.
Yeah,
like I can say "fuck," but I can't say "motherfucker."
Pretty much. Yeah, there was no F bombs. It was over.
I mean, you get one F bomb.
The movie was over woke as fuck, which I don't give a shit. You know, whatever. I can tell that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to, they're making a comment on how women are treated in slasher movies, and they're sort of flipping it on, the genre on its head. I can tell what they were doing, but there was no blood. There was no kill scenes. There was nothing. Like the PG-13 really fucked that movie. And like the closest thing to gore was when a guy squirted mayonnaise on his sandwich. I went, yeah, yeah, movie sucked. Fuck that shit. Don't go see it.
Okay, there you go.
It's probably gonna be one. It's probably gonna do like the Charlie's Angel thing, where like if you don't like it, you're sexist and shit. But no,
or like
this
Ghostbusters
movie,
2016 and shit.
Yeah, this movie sucks. It's bad. It's like I said, as a horror movie, it sucked. Yeah, so.
Okay.
I was kind of mad when I came out, actually.
Oh damn, that's the first time, Eli, because you usually kind of lean on these movies, but this one kind of, got a little bit of anger in your voice on this one.
Yeah. Well, it's like I didn't like the last remake either. I thought the last one, and that one was full of gore. That one had all kinds of gore. I'm
mad. I saw the movie and completely forgot everything that happened in it.
Yeah, it's just a slasher flick, but that one was so over the top and stupid.
Yeah, who was in that?
That had what's her face? Laurel from Arrow was in that movie.
What? Really?
Yep. And
oh no, not Laurel. Yeah, I don't care about her.
Yeah, Black Canary.
Yeah. Okay, that's right.
Katie Cassidy. She was in that.
Yeah.
And that
was she the main person in that movie?
Yeah, and that Mary Elizabeth Winstead, the one who's playing Huntress in the.
Oh Birds I just found out that she's David Cassidy's daughter.
Oh yeah.
Katie didn't Cassidy. Know that. So.
Yeah. That movie was
just family, whatever. But yeah.
Yeah, that the other remake, the one that came out. That one was full of gore, very brutal and violent, but it was stupid. Like there was like an incest. The guy had more origin story about the guy. He was like incest, and he had a daughter, sister, or something. And that was stupid. So I didn't like that one either.
Well, how close were the stories? Like, was it like a beat for beat remake, or did they like switch it up a little? Or, even though I know it was woker than it was before, you know.
It takes the same elements of the original, which is just about the sorority house of girls who are getting stalked by some mystery killer. It was one of the very first slasher movies.
And I think Margot Kidder was in the first one, wasn't it?
Yeah, she was.
Yeah.
And it was made ironically by Bob Clark, who made A Christmas Story.
Okay.
Yeah. But that one was more of a mystery. You kind of like, you don't know who the killer is, and it kind of leaves it up to, it's kind of open ending. You don't know if you think the killer's dead, but then there's somebody breathing still, walking around the house. And so, it was one of the very first slasher flicks, like before even Halloween. And they say it inspired Halloween as far as the holiday horror.
I mean, because if it was a slasher flick, you think it would get, more recognition than Halloween or Texas Chainsaw Massacre as the first,
Yeah. I mean, this one's more of a mystery. I know when I talk about horror flicks, I always sort of skip Black Christmas because it seems like more of a mystery. Yeah, there's a killer around, but it's just more of a, like, it's not as, it's, like the formula of the bunch of teenagers stuck in one place who get stalked off one by one. Black Christmas happens over like a week, and one goes missing, and then they're just trying to find out where she is, and then there's a guy calling, making obscene phone calls, and so I always sort of omitted it from like, my slasher flick list.
Damn that, Eli, you should fight for it. Just like we fought and made Die Hard a Christmas movie. So you should fight and make Black Christmas a horror movie. Like the
slasher
first.
flick?
Slasher flick, exactly, like the first.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's
change the narrative.
It's more of a thriller. There's not a lot of kill scenes. I think that's what separates it. Mm-hmm. There's like one or two kill scenes, in the original.
I think I know what you mean, because slasher flicks inherently are really like exploitative flicks. That makes like exploitation flicks.
Yeah, you go to watch people die in creative, bloody ways.
Right, that's kind of the point. But and I guess in Black Christmas, like I said, it's been so long since I've seen the movie, I remember nothing about it.
Yeah,
but I'm pretty sure it doesn't like glorify the killings and things like that, like these slasher flicks do.
Yeah, it was a little early on, before movies like Friday the 13th and Halloween, and where they were, getting creative with gore effects.
Yeah,
it was a little.
I mean, because part of the reason we go to these horror movies, not just to see people die, we want to see how they die. Oh, how are you gonna do it this time?
And that's what was missing. That's what was really missing from this new one. There was like no kill scenes.
Right, and that's the thing. Like, how do you make a slasher flick which was born out of the exploitation era, and take out the exploitation part of it?
Yeah, and I could tell that's what they were doing. Like, they were trying to make a comment on how, yeah, like, how Scream kind of poked fun at the genre. That's what this kind of felt like. They were poking fun at how women were portrayed in horror movies.
Now, see, I know you hate Scream, but here's my thing about Scream. They poke fun and about all the tropes in horror movies. Then turned around and did the same tropes anyway. It's like, what's the point of doing that?
Yeah, and I don't mind them reinventing the genre or deconstructing the tropes or any of that stuff. I'm like, whatever, but at least give me a horror flick on top of that. Like, there was some moments in this movie, like, okay, if you're going to do that, this could have been really cool, but they missed it. They kept missing the point. Like, if they wanted to have like this big female empowerment, theme going on, I think they could have pushed it a lot more and made it more brutal. And it just needed the horror. There was no horror in it. This is basically what it came down to. So the movie sucked. I think we went way too
long on this. Yeah. But slap a rating on it. Let's keep moving.
Yeah.
I mean, you still got to slap a rating on it. I want to hear what you.
The 1 out of 5.
Damn. Okay. Yeah. Low so far. Okay. Like I said, spent way too long on that movie than we should have. Number 6, Ford and Ferrari. Still haven't seen it. Still want to see it. Number 7, Queen and Slim. Haven't seen it. Number 8, A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood. Don't want to see it. Pretty sure it's gonna win a bunch of Oscars, but who cares? Number 9, Dark Waters. I know you told me what it is. Completely forgot what it is. Doesn't matter. Number 10, 21 Bridges. Haven't seen them either. I have not seen anything. I will finally go to the movies next week. Star Wars is out. So hopefully that movie will bring Star Wars fans together and we won't, eat each other and you think it? Yeah. I'm trying to be hopeful. I'm trying to look at the bright side of the things. I know what's coming. I know we're going to tear ourselves apart.
People are already bitching about it still.
It's not even out yet, but I know it's coming,
Yeah.
Like The Mandalorian was just a calm before the storm. It brought us together, but now it's going to tear us apart again.
Yeah.
So, matter of fact, can we talk about The Mandalorian real quick before we go? Even though I know we're still in the movie section,
sure.
I just want to talk about it anyway. Okay. So, what do you think about the last episode?
I thought it was fine.
That was my favorite episode so far.
I'm still wondering what is going on. Like, what's going on with Baby Yoda? Who's hiring who? This felt like another filler episode to me, which was fine. I didn't mind it. I thought it was another cool little, story about, the Mandalorian doing some dirt throughout the galaxy, and thought it was fine. But I'm kind of interested in what's going on. Who's pulling the strings?
And you worried about the destination.
Yeah.
I'm worried about the journey. I'm having fun with him just going from odd job, hopping from planet to planet, just doing bullshit and shit like that. Because it's, like I said, it's a spaghetti western. That's what they do. We know there's a thread at the end of the road, but we'll figure that out when it gets there. Right now, I'm just having fun with all these bounty hunters and backstab and stuff like that. Everybody was excited. Oh, Bill Burr is in this episode. Bill Burr. I don't know what the fuck Bill Burr is.
He's a comedian.
I guess. I don't know.
He's funny. He's actually funny as hell.
I don't have an opinion of him one way or another. I just barely. Yeah. I've seen his face before. I know he's a thing that exists, but I'm not familiar with his material or anything like that. And the best way to say it, I don't know. He's like white famous. Reason I say that because it's like white people know him, but black people really don't. Like, for instance, like Frankie Beverly in The Maze or Earth, Wind and Fire. Like, black people know them, white people really don't know them. So it's like he's famous and everybody's getting happy to see him. I'm like, I don't care. It's cool. He was cool in the episode.
Yeah.
But other than that, I really don't know anything from him.
Oh, funny. He's funny. Go check him out.
I'll probably check him out. I guess he got a bunch of Netflix episodes and whatever. I mean, stand-ups.
Yeah, yeah.
I'll probably check him out.
Yeah, he actually does a funny podcast, too. He's got his own podcast.
I feel like I should know podcasts. I feel like I should know my competition. Other than just you and Comicast, I feel like I should know everybody else. Joe Rogan and other guys like that. Yeah, that's my thing about that. Other things in the episode, we had the Twi'lek in there. Of course, we had Twi'lek. They had a male Twi'lek. I'd never seen one before. I don't think live action or ever.
Bib Fortuna was a male Twi'lek.
Oh, he was. Why did I never put that together? I don't know. But anyway, you're right. Now my whole aspect of Star Wars has just changed. Cool.
Star Wars just got way cooler now, isn't it?
Right. So yeah,
better go back and watch that shit.
Now I gotta go. Man, he was a Twi'lek the whole time in there. But yeah. Yeah, just the whole episode, the backstabbing going back and forth, and the intrigue. The episode was longer. It wouldn't want to.
I thought the ending was cool. The little twist at the end. How he had the tracker head and shit.
Yeah. Oh, they said the Easter egg was all three of those Red Road people. They were the directors of some of the episodes in there. Like they had the director of this episode, or one of the directors of the last episode, and they were basically those were the pilots.
Okay, the X-wings.
Yeah, X-wings.
Cool. Always cool to see X-wings.
Yeah. They need a show. They need a show of that.
Yeah, no shit.
I'm pretty sure they're workshopping it right now.
Yeah.
So
I'd watch it.
And my thing is they downplayed the Baby Yoda thing because I felt like the last couple episodes I feel like it was like Baby Yoda's show featuring the Mandalorian.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Is I want to where's John Collar Esposito? He's been in the trailer, but we haven't seen his ass yet.
Right.
That's what I'm waiting for. I'm like, what's going on here? And
Right. And then basically the way the internet is, it's like Mandalorian is playing a background in his own show. So, like I said, it's all about Baby Yoda. So this one, they pull it back. You actually forget Baby Yoda's even in the episode until he pops up every now and then. So I'm like, that's cool. Like, downplay some of the cuteness a little bit. I know you got a hit on your hands with him, and you're just gonna sell a bunch of toys during Christmas or whenever the hell he comes out. But don't make him the focus of the whole damn show, and it's not even name him. Make it about the Mandalorian. So that's my thing. And before we go with that, didn't you see another movie? Or was Black Christmas was it?
I didn't see another movie.
That was in a movie. Okay, so let's do our round circles, things like that. So,
did you see a movie?
Oh, I did see a movie, but I'm gonna talk about that later on. I actually saw a few movies. One movie I'm gonna talk about, like I said, we just talked about Disney Plus. Let's talk about Netflix. Okay, now Eli, have you seen a movie called Six Underground?
No.
Okay, do you know anything about this movie?
Looks like it's got Ryan Reynolds in it.
Okay, and that's all you know. Okay, you are in for a treat. You're in for a treat for me talking about it and actually seeing it. Okay, so yes, this is a movie that hit Netflix that I knew nothing about. It dropped about, I guess, 2 or 3 days ago. It's a Ryan Reynolds vehicle. It's a bunch of other people in there, but it's a Ryan Reynolds movie for the most part. Because he's like the only recognizable star in this. Everybody else is just people you expect to be in Netflix. No name people that's just kind of there. And not only that, but here's the most important part. It's directed by Michael Bay.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So it is. That's what kind of caught me off guard. Like, that's really the star of the movie, Michael Bay, not Ryan Reynolds. That's what you come to see the movie for. Because I had no idea Michael Bay directed this movie. But when I cut the movie on 5 minutes in, I was like, oh, shit. Is this a Michael Bay movie? Because Michael Bay, whatever you want to say about him, he is an auteur.
I suppose, yeah.
Yeah, because the reason I say that because an auteur is when you cut the movie on and it's them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, as soon as you see it, it's not like whoever the fuck directed Captain Marvel or Ant-Man. No, you turn on this movie, you're like, oh shit, I'm watching a Michael Bay movie. Mm-hmm. Get ready, because you are getting a Michael Bay movie, Eli. This is the most Michael Bay movie I've ever seen. This is Michael Bay in his purest form.
Oh, yeah, just constant moving shots of aircraft carriers and helicopters and people walking in slow motion.
All of it.
Explosions and shit.
Explosions, ass, hot women. One of the women look exactly like Megan Fox. Like they just cloned her and just put her in the movie. I'm like, it's insane. So yes, this is, like I said, Michael Bay in his purest form. The most Michael Bay he's ever Michael Bay. And then I started thinking about it. Okay. So and what I'm hearing is that this movie cost $100 million to make, $150 million to make. So Netflix gave Michael Bay $150 million and told him to just blow up Europe and just do whatever the fuck you want to do. Like, he's just like, oh yes, let's do this. So it's just weird. So let's bring this back to the movie we recorded. We talked about either 2 weeks or a week before, like The Irishman. Now, like I said, we had different opinions on The Irishman, but at the end of the day, we both agreed that The Irishman was the movie that Martin Scorsese wanted to make. At the end of the day, we know he made it. He didn't have any studio over him telling him, do this, do this, do that. He like, no, this is the movie I want to make. I'm going to make it the fuck the way I want to make it. 3.5 hours. I don't care. I'm going to do it. Six Underground feels the same way. That's why I'm saying is Michael Bay in his purest form, because it feels like they gave him $150 million and just left him alone. So now you have a movie where Michael Bay can make this movie any way he wants to make it.
He just started shooting it without a script.
Pretty much. There's no
just
script.
Bring in the dynamite.
There is no script in this movie. There's no plot. It's just shit just blowing up just from beginning to end. Let me at least try to figure out the plot of this movie. It's not even a dumb. Okay, Ryan Reynolds is a tech billionaire, but he's also like a ex-military secrets, whatever the fuck. He's Batman, basically. Of course. Yeah. So he recruits these other 6 Black Ops mercenaries all over the world to take down this dictator. That's the movie. The whole movie is about a coup. So, but the rest of the movie is just explosions, shit blowing up, hot women, Ryan Reynolds telling stupid ass jokes. That's the movie. And like I said, it's Michael Bay. It's what you expect. But the thing is that Michael Bay made the movie he wanted to make. This is one of Michael Bay's best movies. Like, to be honest with you. And here's the difference between Michael Bay and Zack Snyder. Like, people always compare the two, but there's one specific difference between those two. Michael Bay knows he's making a bad movie. Zack Snyder and his fans don't know they're making a bad movie. He thinks he's making art. He's also an auteur. Like when you watch Zack Snyder's movie, you know it's his movies. Michael Bay is the same way, but he knows this shit is schlock. So I say it's one of Michael Bay's best movie. That doesn't make it a good movie. That just means that, what's the best way to describe this movie? It's a guilty pleasure. It's schlock. Technically, it is a bad movie, but it's a bad movie you can't take your eyes off of because it's a beautiful looking bad movie.
You know what you're getting.
You know what you're getting. Like I said, if you watched a Michael Bay movie before and you can stomach it, like if you like Bad Boys, you'll like this movie. Because that's when I started watching. I was just like, oh, okay, this is
or Armageddon.
Or Armageddon, all of those movies. Armageddon, Bad Boys.
Pearl Harbor. Fast forward through like the first hour.
The best way to describe this movie is Hobbs and Shaw. It's Hobbs and Shaw, but
it's Hobbs and Shaw.
It is, but it's like more R-rated, more gory, crazier cars. It's basically Hobbs and Shaw cranked up to 11. I'm trying to see, is it a better movie than Hobbs and Shaw? And overall, yeah, I'm going to say it's a better movie than Hobbs and Shaw. Even though they're both going for the same demographic, because this is where I feel like Hobbs and Shaw felt like it was trying to cater to a certain demographic and it was trying to check off kind of box stuff like that. Michael Bay just made a movie like, fuck that. No, I'm just making it just pure action movie with Ryan Reynolds just basically Deadpooling up the whole time. And I'm just going to blow up Europe and just do what the fuck I want to do. So, yeah, I'm going to say this is a better movie. Now, I'm going to give a rating. As far as Netflix, for a Netflix movie, this is a 5 out of 5. Like, you're looking for a movie on Netflix, you want to just look at some shit and just zone out and just get shit blown up for like 2.5 hours or whatever.
Read comics while it's on and shit.
Yeah. In the background, this is the movie. This is a movie specifically designed and made for Netflix. This is a movie you just play in the background and just have fun. As far as like a movie, I'll give it a 4 out of 5. It was pretty entertaining. Like I said, plot does not matter. You just watch a shit blow up, and that's pretty much it. So, yeah. Like I said about that. So that was Netflix. Now, one more movie I saw this weekend, and this is a movie you reviewed like half a year ago.
Half a year.
The time flies. Like I said, we're almost in 2020 now. So this is Hellboy, and the reason remember I talked about we talked about
that's right. You watched Hellboy.
I watched Hellboy. So like I said, I watched Hellboy because like I said, I've subscribed to HBO, and I'm just subscribing whatever like for the time being. I'm about to cancel it next week, but that's neither here nor there. I saw Hellboy on there. I'm doing a compilation list of all the comic movies that came out this year. What have I not seen? Hellboy is on there. So I started watching. And Eli, what I think about Hellboy is that it's not the worst movie ever made.
It's not.
It's not. I mean, the internet wanted me to believe that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, avoid it at all costs. This movie is a plague on humanity. I'm like, it was just a movie. I watched it. It didn't stick with me. You know, it didn't leave anything.
It's like what you said. It's schlock.
It is schlock. That's exactly what it is. But it was like, you know, CGI schlock. It was just like it was something to watch in the background. They had some cool scenes. Only thing about it that it didn't have any cool characters like the first Hellboy movies. They're like Abe Sapien and also like that. The two people they had replacing them, I cared nothing about them. I did like the Hellboy though. I thought he was just as good as the last one was.
Yeah,
I think it was, and I think the body makeup and the design of Hellboy was probably better than it was in the last one. Like if you watched that 2004 movie, you know it looked amazing then. It may be a little dated now. You can kind of see the plastic and rubber material on Hellboy's skin. But now it looks a lot better. So I thought Hellboy looked a lot better. CGI, hit or miss. But nowadays, unless it's just really, really bad, I'm not complaining about CGI in a movie. I mean, it's make believe. Just go with it sometimes. Yeah. So overall, I give Hellboy a 3 out of 5. Just something to watch. Not the worst movie ever made. I don't even think it's the worst comic movie ever made. What was the worst comic movie this year? Was it Captain Marvel?
Was it?
Well,
Dark Phoenix?
I actually like Dark Phoenix better than Captain Marvel. To be honest with you. I mean, everybody there was another movie everybody said was a plague on humanity, and I went in and watched. I was like, wasn't that bad. Not to say Dark Phoenix was the best movie ever made, but
I've only seen the Captain Marvel the one time. I mean, I didn't find it.
I've actually seen it multiple times. That's the thing, Eli. Watch it multiple times. You're gonna hate the movie too.
Oh yeah. Well, I remember hating the when the No Doubt song came on. I couldn't. Yeah, that was like, ugh.
Like
So
Captain Marvel is really a bad movie. It's one of Marvel's worst movies. And not to say I'm not saying I'm a comics gator or I hate women or anything like that. I'm just saying it's a bad movie. It's okay to call a movie a bad movie without being sexist or racist or anything like that.
I like it when she was doing all the Superman shit. That was cool, wasn't it?
Yeah, for like the fucking 5 minutes at the end of the movie.
Yeah, that was cool.
That was
But
cool. That was cool. I agree with you. That was cool doing this shit, and it pissed me off because I'm not seeing Superman doing that. But overall, that movie was just whatever. I don't care. And I know, and it makes me worry because I feel like Marvel going forward are gonna give us more Captain Marvel like movies. You know, just throw shit out there and they're like, it don't matter what we do. They're just gonna just watch it anyway.
Shazam, I watched Shazam on HBO the other last week.
Right.
I still enjoyed that.
Yeah. Oh, I love Shazam. Yeah, I love Shazam. That's one of my favorite comic movies this year. Even though it is one of Warner Brothers' lowest. It's one of the lowest grossing comic book movies this decade. Like it's like barely above Green Lantern.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that sucks. I enjoyed it. I watched it again. I watched it a second time around, and I was like, oh.
And I kept wondering, like, why did that movie grow so much, so low? I mean, you think it would be higher than that because everybody loved it and everybody think it was a hit, but it really wasn't. Like, they really had
It's a Christmas movie. Takes place in Christmas. Watch it Christmas time. Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna claim Shazam as a Christmas movie.
Yeah, there you go.
Shazam and Iron Man 3. And so Shazam was a good movie. Captain Marvel, yeah, so what? But yeah, I like Dark Things better. I was going somewhere with this. Yeah, we can talk about let me talk about the Warner Brothers. Oh yeah, Brie Larson. Oh yeah, they still hate Brie Larson because she did some more dumb shit.
No.
Okay. Drink my water. So this is what Brie Larson did. Wonder Woman 84 trailer came out, right? So Brie Larson made a tweet basically congratulating Wonder Woman 84 for coming out. I can't wait to see this movie. I need Thanos to fast forward time, whatever like that, so I can see this movie now, or somebody need to invent a time machine. Nothing wrong with that. But where was the tweet when Black Widow came out? There was none.
Oh.
So everybody getting pissed at her like, oh, yo, fuck Black Widow? Like the one that should have been made before you, or you're not going to say
so
shit
what
about
you're saying is Black Widow sucks.
Yeah, that's basically what. So they already putting words in the mouth to begin with. So no matter what,
educate yourself.
So no matter what Brie Larson does, she's gonna catch shit for regardless.
I fucking hate this planet.
Thanos was right. Oh shit! Let me find this list of Warner Brothers movies coming out. Where was it?
Well, we got Birds of Prey. What, in February?
We got Birds of Prey in February. Let me see. Damn it, where is it? Oh, it's here. Yeah, found it. Okay, so we got Birds of Prey in February. Mm-hmm. Wonder Woman 1984 in June. So we got 2 DC movies coming out next year. The Batman, which that is not the name of the movie. We don't know what the name of the movie is going to be yet, but we're just saying The Batman. That's something the internet made up. In 2021, Suicide Squad in 2021, Black Adam in 2021. So there's 3. So they're cranking it. They're doing DC. They're doing Marvel work in 2021. It's cranking up. And I think Marvel might have like 4 movies coming out in 2021. Crazy. But here's the thing. You got Black Adam in 2021, and I think like 4 months later, you had Shazam 2. So Shazam 2, has been confirmed. So it makes you wonder if they fast tracking it because we know Black Adam is going to be a hit. It's going to be in December. It's going to be The Rock, and I'm pretty sure he's probably going to be the bad guy in Shazam. Mm-hmm. Because that's the thing. Shazam, Black Adam was supposed to be in Shazam 1, but Rock is basically kind of like, I'm going to wait to see what DC does with these movies first before I put my name on it because it might hurt me because, they don't have the best track record. So I'm going to wait to see if Shazam is a hit, then put my name on it and make a main move to myself. Oh, and not only that, in 2022, Flash, you can scratch that off. That's not going to happen. And number 22, Eli, in 2022, you got Aquaman 2.
There you go.
There you go. So, but here's the thing. They don't know if, what's her name? Mara. Well, who's the actress? Amber Heard.
Oh, yeah.
Should she be back, Eli? Let me ask you that question. Should she come back?
I didn't mind her. I was a little weary about her when they announced it, but
Yeah.
I didn't mind her in the end. She was fine.
Okay. Well, for those that don't know, basically what's going on is that we've canceled Amber Heard.
Yeah, why? What happened now?
Oh yeah, you don't know the whole situation. Okay, because of the whole relationship with her and Johnny Depp.
Oh,
So-
really? I thought we canceled him.
No, that's
You
the
haven't canceled
thing.
him?
That's the thing. Let me back that up. Yes,
Oh,
we
well-
canceled Johnny Depp over that. But here's the thing: he wasn't beating her ass; she was beating his ass.
Oh, well, natives canceled Johnny Depp because he came out with that cologne called Savage or something.
Well, I thought it was because he played Tonto in Lone Ranger.
No, that was the one thing. No, this is like a few months ago. He's to some cologne called Savage or Savage.
Oh,
and
so y'all let the Tonto thing slide.
I didn't. I said I haven't
Do
seen.
y'all
I
love
never
Johnny
even
Depp
seen
that much?
shit.
Like, we'll let you get away with one.
You know, remember, there's only like 2 Indians on Earth. You know, we can't cancel shit. You know.
You're not claiming Johnny Depp, are you? I think like
No,
132nd.
yeah, like fuck him and his shitty band. I don't give a shit. You know, but no, he was in some cologne. He had the commercial with, it was called Savage Cologne or something, and he's like in buckskin and shit, and like, oh yeah, fuck that guy.
But at the same time, you don't feel any sympathy for what Amber Heard was doing to him? Because here's the thing: when that shit happened,
Hey, if you're fucking Amber Heard, you got to put up with some shit.
okay,
That's how
I agree with you. She's hot, so obviously she must be crazy. I agree
yeah,
with you.
so
on that.
yeah, you just got to put up with some shit, you know. And he's got the resources to do that. So fuck
Eli,
him.
do you know what she did though? She cut off one of his fingers.
No way. Who the
Yes, she did that shit.
cut off his fingers?
Not like John Wick or shit like that, but yeah, well, like the tip of his finger is missing. He said she did that shit.
Oh, so he can't play guitar in a shitty band now?
I mean, probably as well as he could before. I mean, shit. But yeah, so apparently he has part of his finger missing. I don't know if it was sewed back on or he's the Winter Soldier now, some shit, and he got a replacement. I don't know. But the point is, apparently she cut off one of his fingers, and now people are like, well, should we cancel her? Because when everybody thought that he was beating her ass, he got fired from Pirates of the Caribbean. So he's done. But now it's realized that she was the one doing this shit. Should she be fired from her job? And should he come back? Because Disney hasn't brought him back yet. 9 fingers and all that shit, So, I don't know.
I don't give a shit.
I'm just saying, like, are we going to boycott if they put her in the next movie?
I ain't boycotting no fucking Aquaman.
You're not woke, Eli. That's the problem.
I don't. Hell no. I'm tired as fuck, man.
We need a scorecard to keep up with this shit, man.
Tired of this shit.
You can't listen to anybody, man. I try to play like a new music artist and shit like that. Oh, you can't listen to them. They said some shit on Twitter. Like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah.
Well, we can't listen to this person? Yes. Next week, they do some stupid shit.
Yeah, I need some sleep, man. This is exhausted. Being woke and shit.
Oh shit! I need a woke list. Somebody make a woke website to find out who we're canceling, shit like that. So I'll know.
Yeah. Fuck
Or
this.
not. I don't care. That being said, like I said, we watch Eat HBO. Actually, no, I didn't. But anyway, I was talking about HBO, so now we can segue to the other part of HBO. Actually, what we were starting to talk about. So Eli, we got a chance to check out Watchmen. And this is the season finale of season 1.
Let me get my notes.
You got notes? Oh, you came prepared. You professional.
Oh yeah, I took notes like weeks ago.
Oh shit. Okay, I should have done that also. I'll just follow your lead then. So Eli. So what did you think about the season finale of Watchmen?
I thought it was cool. I've loved this show since the get-go. I thought it wrapped it up very well. I thought it answered a lot of the questions, confirmed a lot of theories, also a couple surprises, and it left it the ending I thought was left up to interpretation, where I don't think it was satisfying. I don't think we need a sequel. I don't think we need another season. I thought the show was very timely. Like it was the perfect show for our current times. Mm-hmm. And I think that's why it works so well. I think that's why I responded to so well, because I thought when I first heard about this show, I thought it was the dumbest idea ever. I'm like, that's going to suck. A sequel to the Watchmen, a TV show that doesn't have any of the characters. I was like, that sounds stupid as hell. That's a waste of time. But they made it work, and it was a worthy adaptation. It was a worthy sequel to the original comic book, and mm-hmm. And the reason why it worked so well is because they tackled current issues, current events that we're dealing with right now, the same way the original comic did when it came out 30 years ago.
Right.
The original comic dealt with a lot of political and social themes and issues of its time, and was very controversial, and sort of flipped the whole superhero genre on its head. And I felt like this show did this in current times. And I felt the last episode wrapped up everything. It was a satisfying conclusion. And I don't think we need another one. I mean, I'm like okay, this shouldn't have worked, but it did. Now leave it alone. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I agree with you on that, because just like the original book, like the book was 12 issues. And that's one reason I feel like it does stand the test of time, because Alan Moore did those 12 issues, that one graphic novel, and left it alone. He didn't revisit it. Mm-hmm. Like, would that story be the same if we were at issue 150 right now? Just kept the shit going. Watchmen annual and shit,
Turned into a soap opera. It didn't need to.
Right.
Because everyone's saying, oh, well, what's going to happen? So-and-so has so-and-so's powers. What's going to happen? It's like, I don't care.
Right. Maybe nothing will happen.
Nothing happened. That's the thing. What makes it so beautiful is like that final shot of the episode where it showed, what's her face, Angela stepping out onto the water. And I was like, I kept thinking to myself, cut. I don't want to know. I don't want to know. It reminded
me of the ending of Inception.
Yeah, I was like, cut, just don't, because I don't want to know. Don't confirm it. And then it did cut, and I was like, cool, because I don't want to know. And that's what the original comic did. It lets you make up your mind. It left it ambiguous, so you can make up your mind, and you can question it, and you can, come up with your own ideas of what you think should happen, or who was right and who was wrong. Does someone deserve that much power? That's like the Thanos thing. Mm-hmm. Is Thanos right? That's what made that final shot so powerful, and why I don't think we need another season.
I agree with you. We need to leave it alone. It was perfect as it was. Honestly, that season was it's probably my favorite season of this decade, like just of a single show.
Yeah, I was every episode, like I was hooked from episode 1, and each week I was continued to be moved and wowed, and like, my mind was blown, mm-hmm. And it just continued every episode. Like every episode was different and was its own story. Like you could just watch one of these episodes and it could be its own story.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's what I thought was so great, is like each week it just got more intense and more like, holy shit, I can't wait for the next week. I was so engaged every week for the last 3 months or however long it was, couple months now, and I didn't expect to be. That's what I find so amazing, is like I had no faith in this show mm-hmm. at all. And it turned out to be, it surpassed my expectations, and like I was totally wrong. I did not think it was
my thing. I had different expectations of the show, because when we first talked about the first episode, I had, I was kind of lukewarm over the whole thing, because I felt like they were just making their own story and just slapping Watchmen references every now and then, like Easter eggs, like, ooh, look at that, ooh, look at that. While, basically like the Joker, where they just doing something else and just slapping a superhero staple on it. Mm-hmm. But the more the show went on, the more the episode got into it, because, somebody talked me into it, and I was just like, no, they're actually really digging into the source material. Like the show became a commentary on the comic.
Yes.
You know, in a way. But
Yeah.
at the same time, they did tell their own story, but it was still also a commentary on the comic. Like you could dig into it. And what if we explored that idea that came from the comic that Alan Moore kind of touched on, but didn't fully flesh out because it was so much, stuff in that book. And I was thinking like that's interesting.
Yeah, it was so true to the original source material that when going back and reading it again, it made me appreciate those little nuances, those little things that I sort of dismissed before.
Mm-hmm.
It like I really dove into the Hood of Justice and the Under the Hood novel that was written, and really like looked into the history of superheroes and the fact that this show flipped that on its head. Like, the way it tackled race, like I said, from episode 1, I was like, holy shit, they're going there? Okay. Right. This is going to piss people off. This is going to make people uncomfortable. And I'm fucking there because I'm, I live in discomfort. I don't give a shit,
And the show made you uncomfortable.
Oh, yeah. I was like, hell yeah. I was along for the whole fucking ride. I'm like, wow, they're really making a comment on racism and people of color and the fact that the very first superhero was a black guy.
And right. And on top of it, they made a commentary on Rorschach.
Yeah.
Like the movie made Rorschach, he's just a badass. He's like Batman of this universe. But this show flipped like, no, he's a fucking racist, homophobic, sexist, pathetic, kind of slow, like hillbilly. And basically everybody that worships him is the same way.
Yeah.
Like the Klan worships him. Yeah. And it's like how they all brought it back.
Yeah. And he was like a regular reader of that racist magazine. And that's comic accurate. That's canon. That they, you go back and read the comic, he was, that shit he was writing to or reading was a racist magazine.
Can we talk about the Alan Moore quote he made? Or
Go ahead.
Is it too inflammatory?
No, fuck it.
Okay,
that's what this show was for.
This show is for, because it all ties back to it now.
Yeah.
There was a quote that Alan Moore said is that Birth of a Nation was the first superhero movie. Now, for those that don't know what Birth of a Nation is, Birth of a Nation is basically a story about the KKK. It's a movie about the KKK going around just killing black people during the Reconstruction time. That's what the movie is. To this day, the KKK uses that movie as a recruitment tool to recruit people to the KKK.
Yeah.
So it's about that movie, and he's saying that that's the first superhero movie. And I was like, oh, everybody getting pissed off. I'm like, how you going to say things like that? But then I started thinking about the quote. And as fucked up as it is, he's right.
Yeah, because it's about masked vigilantes.
It's about masked vigilantes.
It's about superheroes and the mask and their secret identities and what they're doing in secret and getting to the fucking psychological, origins of what makes a superhero or a vigilante.
Yeah, because in order to do stuff like that, you have to believe that you're above the law.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's what the KKK were doing. And these mass vigilantes, and in pretty much any mass vigilante or vigilante that goes out to doing it, they're pretty much doing the same thing. Like Death Wish or that guy that was in the subway back in the 70s, shit like that. They were praising him as a subway vigilante, but when they really dug into it, they realized he was like racist as shit, and he was just going around just looking for black people to kill.
Mm-hmm.
All that shit ties in together, and basically that's what Alan Moore was saying. Like if any vigilante that feel like they're above the law to go shooting people, more than likely he's probably a sociopathic, dude going out doing that shit.
And that's why when they made the cops put masks on.
Mm-hmm.
In this show,
right?
And that was such a powerful statement on who decides who's above the law and who upholds the law. Yeah. And at the end of this last finale, when Will Reeves is talking to Angela, is like, how did you feel when you were under that mask? What was it like? And she's like, there's that anger, it was that rage, But then he's talking about, but it was also the fear. I was. It all came from fear. And this is the very first superhero that he was driven by fear of racism and the violence of racism because he survived the Black Wall Street massacre. Mm-hmm. And that's what drove him. And the whole going back to the trauma and, heroes like Batman and, Spider-Man who are driven by trauma. And that's what makes them do what they do. That was really interesting how they took this.
Yeah. And that whole Hooded Justice was also a whole callback, and I've said this before. There's a whole callback to Bass Reeves. you know.
Yeah.
Because just like in the Watchmen universe, or how they have in the show, the Hooded Justice was a black guy, but in the TV show that they make fun of, they recreated him, they made him a white guy. So they've whitewashed his history. The same way with Bass Reeves, they made him into the Lone Ranger.
Yeah, and made him
the inspiration for that, but they whitewashed his history also.
Yeah, and that's the comment of the show, is the erasure of black people, of people of color.
Just like the Oklahoma Tulsa massacre.
Just like the massacre.
Nobody knows
about that shit.
Exactly.
Everyone was like, did that really happen? They thought it was some fictional fucking thing. No, that shit really happened.
Right. They were like, oh, they didn't drop bombs on them, didn't they? Like, yes, the fuck
yes,
they did.
they fucking, there would have been probably a whole population of wealthy black people in America had that not happened.
Right.
So but so I forgot what I was going to say. I was going to say something. But the fact that it goes back to the erasure, the wiping out of history of people of color, making making the Lone Ranger white, and the fact that the Hooded Justice had to hide he put the mask on not to hide his face, to hide his race.
Right.
Because they weren't going to pay attention to him if he was a black guy, and he knew that. And that was such a powerful statement, that the first superhero was a black guy who hid his race.
Right. They had to feel like he was one of them.
Yeah.
Let me tie this back again also. Let's talk about Spawn for a second.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we talked about Spawn because the thing about it, like when Todd McFarlane was drawing Spider-Man, like he was just always like, Spider-Man's wear a mask. You don't know Spider-Man's color. You really don't. But everybody just assumed he's white. And in Spider-Man, in one story, he wrote it in there, like, well, how do you know I'm white? Why you just assume that? You don't know what I look like. So that's why he did that with Spawn. That's why he made Spawn black. Because he knew when Spawn wearing his mask, he knew all of his readers were going to assume he was white. So in the second issue, when Spawn, changed to a human form and he was white, he was like, wait. I'm not white. What the fuck? And when he did that, he actually got hate mail. They were like, what the fuck are you doing? We just assumed Spawn was white. Like, no. He only made Spawn black to fuck with people, basically.
Yeah.
And so I just
didn't realize how much it resonated with.
He just did it just to fuck with people. He didn't know there was names. So now you look at the top black superheroes of all time: Spawn, Black Panther. Like Spawn, what? like even black people don't know Spawn's black.
Yeah. And so I mean that's what was so amazing about the show, is that it tackled these issues, the issues of race, and the issues of like the racial like oppression of this country, and how people of color were treated, and throughout history, and it did it in a way where it like Trojan horse these issues into this cool comic book show. And then we because then we talk about Angela, how she was sort of the same way. She hid her face, and she was kind of doing the same way. She was kind of like Rorschach of, dressing in black and white, and, and the fact that she grew up during Vietnam or in Vietnam, and she was treated like shit over there by other people of color. That
right.
You know what I mean?
So they look at her like the enemy,
Yeah. I mean, it just goes, it isn't just black and white. That there's and that was the main thing of the old comic book, is Rorschach was so, dealt in absolutes. He saw everything in black and white, and he couldn't compromise, Right. And that's why,
and like he couldn't see the gray area that Ozymandias and everybody else was looking at. Like maybe we should cover this shit up. Like he couldn't do that. Yeah,
and that's how Angela started out as. Sister Night started out like that. And then once she started exploring what was happening, she started realizing, that there's a lot of gray, and that's the whole point of these stories of Watchmen, is like, there's no simple answer.
Right. Like everybody's not good or bad. It's good and bad between everybody. Like even if you have superpowers.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it was just interesting, man. It's just, I just like how the story reflects the book so much, and complements each other. Like this does feel like a worthy successor of the book.
And like and the fact we didn't talk about the other elephant in the room,
What's that? The actual
Doctor
elephant in the room?
Doctor Manhattan becoming black.
Okay, that's actually a weird thing to me because I'm still trying to process that because the thing is, Doctor Manhattan is black, but he's really white.
Yeah,
And Ozymandias comments on that. He was like,
commented
"Look,
on that.
yeah." He was like, "Look, in this day and age, you can't get away with that nowadays."
Yeah, that's called cultural appropriation.
Right.
You know, but the thing is, like, he wasn't becoming black to like rip off the culture or like, or make a parody of the culture.
Right.
He was just doing it to help out, to comfort Angela.
Right, because that's what she wanted. She's like, she saw a black dude. She was like, "I want you to be that guy," and she just wanted to be what he wanted. I mean, what she wanted.
Yeah,
but it's funny to me how you say it because soon as that thing was announced, I just saw all these tweets. God is a black man. God is a black man. It's just how he's supposed to be. No, the black man just figured out he was God. I'm like, not really. He's really a white guy pretending to be a black dude. Just pretending to be a blue dude.
And then but then also going into like John Osterman's his history and how his family like escaped the Holocaust and so they that was all like intertwined. He goes from one persecuted race to another persecuted race. Mm-hmm. So it's just this theme of who deserves the power, why and all that thing about how who should become God, and you got the white supremacists that we're gonna get these godlike powers, and we're gonna make the world the way we think it should be. We got Lady True, this narcissistic bitch who wants like, okay, I'm gonna become God, and I'm gonna make the world how I think it should be. It's like these power hungry people. No, they shouldn't get that power. It's like in Captain America: First Avenger. No, you Steve Rogers. Because you've never had power and because you've never been strong, that's why you deserve to have it. Because that whole meek should inherit the earth thing.
My thing about that whole thing with Lady True, because like I said, it was revealed that Lady True was Ozymandias' daughter, which I'll say it from the beginning. That was one thing I completely was wrong on because I was like, there's no way Ozymandias can she could be Ozymandias' daughter because Ozymandias in the book was gay. But they changed it in the story, and they never actually came out and said he was gay. Now in the movie, in Zack Snyder's Watchmen movie, they flat out said he was gay. Mm-hmm. Walking out of Studio 54, we know. Yeah. And they found like some an extra folder on there too, said boys, some shit like that, so he confirmed that. But in this show, they confirmed that he's asexual. It was like, I thought about that. Nobody ever goes that route. So I think the whole thing, the reason he was trying to stop Lady True, not because she was evil or she about to become God. I think he just didn't want to beat her because if she does that, then she can basically say she's better than him.
Well, I think that he, all those years, I would like to think that all those years he spent on Jupiter, that he sort of looked at the life and existence in a new way and was like, okay, this is what I wanted to be. And I achieved it. I saved the world once, and look what it got me. Nothing, And here's his daughter trying to do the same thing.
Right. But she's basically doing all this to prove that she's better than him.
Yeah.
Part of
it. And that's that. And that was the only reason why she did. Yeah. Because she went through all that trouble. This is what was revealed after all these episodes, that the only reason why she got Ozymandias off of Jupiter was so she could brag to him.
Right.
So she spent all these billions of dollars making all these spaceships and satellites and inventing all this crap just so she could say, stick it to him. Right. And that's a fucking nut job right there. So yeah, I don't want some motherfucker like that with Dr. Manhattan's powers.
Right, because that's the thing. She's saying she's going to do all this stuff, but we know, like I said, power corrupts. And absolute power corrupts absolutely.
And that's the thing about racism. And what, that comic Bitterroot that I read, earlier this year, because that dealt with the Oklahoma massacre, the Tulsa massacre too. It's like the fact that how do we deal with racism? Right. What do we do? How do we fight it? There's victims of racism that are just full of rage, that just want to swing the other way and wipe out, and just for revenge, who want vengeance, and they're justified to feel that way. I get it, but will that solve the problem? because you have Lady True, who's Vietnamese, and we know what happened in there. Dr. Manhattan, America won the Vietnam War because of Dr. Manhattan. So they looked at Dr. Manhattan as this oppressor.
Right.
So Vietnam became a United State, became a part of the United States, became another state. So you had that, and that's why there was all those protests and those bombings and stuff, because you had all these oppressed people, looking at the U.S. as colonizers, and that's because that's essentially what they did. And, Angela was born out of that, and Lady True, her mother experienced that. So that's why she was like, "Fuck you, Ozymandias," So those victims of racism carry out throughout these generations, and it's still what we as people of color, that still affects us. Like, we still feel those pressures as people of color of what happened to our ancestors from hundreds of years ago. We still feel that today, and we still recognize the oppression today.
Because it's in the culture of the country.
Yes, and what do we do about that? It's easy to say, yeah, fuck the white man, and we gotta fight back in revolution. But what's that gonna do?
Right?
Is it just gonna be one race conquering another race over and over again? And that's like a question that this show actually asks. It doesn't answer it, but it's like
who should have that type of power, basically?
Yeah, what does racial rage get us?
Right?
So.
And one more thing, also, like how the show actually ended with another massacre in Tulsa.
Yeah. With the squids.
With the squids, yeah. I mean, he like, I'm just gonna kill everybody. Just fuck it, as long as you take her out.
Yeah, I like that part with Looking Glass, Mirror Guy.
Yeah.
How I like that, his character arc, like how he was one of my favorite characters because of what he went through, and the trauma that he went through, and what in his origin story, and why he became the hero he was, or the vigilante he became, and what it did to him. And then to see him make that closure, to get that closure, to see like, oh, this has been a hoax the whole time, and now I get to like sort of resolve it. He gets to resolve it, by, oh, this is what's been scaring the shit out of me for the past 30 years. These squids, it's all this, it's Ozymandias fucking with everybody.
Right.
I thought that was cool. I thought that was really cool that he actually got to experience that.
So yeah, like I said, I love this show. Don't do another one. Just leave it as it is. That way we can actually just sit back and just absorb this show and just take it all in at one time. We don't need season 4, 5, 6 of this. We don't need season 2 of this.
No.
Yeah.
No.
But we do recommend everybody watch this one season though.
Yeah.
And go back and read the comic. It's
a worthy sequel.
Not the movie, because I still say that movie fucking sucked. I don't care what nobody says.
It's not that bad.
It's bad, man. When's the last time you seen it?
It's been a while, but
it's bad. Watch the movie again. It's bad.
I don't know, but when Rorschach takes that hatchet and chops that dude's head.
There's some cool scenes in it. Rorschach is a badass in the movie. But that movie is tough to get through. But overall, yes, there were certain things because it's so stylish, and like a music video, you kind of miss some of the overall themes that the book was trying to tell.
It's almost a shot for shot remake.
Yeah, and it's almost too faithful, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, but it does miss the point.
Yeah, where I feel like the TV show got it. So that's why it's hard for me to recommend. Like, people love the TV show, and they were like, but I know some people that haven't seen the movie, and they're like, well, should I watch the movie? I'm like, no. Don't do that.
Yeah. Read the comic.
Read the comic, please.
Yeah. Read all the comic. Read the stuff in the back. Those little snippets of the novels and the articles.
But here's the thing, Eli. Can we really recommend the comic? Because let's be honest, we're not rookies to reading comics. We're old hat at this. But the book is tough for us to get through.
It is. But hey, we as comic book readers, it's on like the top 10, 100 novels of all time. Like
novels, period. Like literary.
Yeah, it's a classic work of fiction. We gotta represent it.
We do.
Personally,
so we just want you to know that it is a tough book to get through, but if you can get through it,
Personally, read Dark Knight Returns first, and if you can get through to that, then read the Watchmen.
Dark Knight Returns is a lot easier to get into.
And it touches on the same sort of themes. You know?
It really does. You got a crazy, you know what? We're going to talk about Dark Knight actually later on in this show.
Okay.
So stay tuned. But wait, there's more.
Okay.
Which is one of the reasons why I did it, because we could talk about the Dark Knight Returns in juxtaposition of Watchmen, which are two people say the best comic books written of all time.
Yeah.
Let me say, can we move on to the next part of the podcast?
Yeah, we better, because I can go on Watchmen all fucking night.
I could too, but like I said, it's just a section. Now, to be honest with you, what I was going to do, if it was Watchmen and Doomsday Clock came at the same time, we probably would have just did just a whole show.
That would have been an episode, yeah.
That would have been the whole episode. But
well, you're the only one that I know around me that watches it. You know, none of my, you know, like Anthony, none of the other Savs are watching it. So it's like I don't get to talk about this with anybody.
Can I be honest with you, what got me into the show?
What's that?
Okay, well, I got me into the show that it was a few, you know, of some of my black friends, you know, women friends that watched the show.
Mm-hmm.
And they were just like, oh, you got to watch the show. You got to watch the show. But I didn't know why they were watching the show until I actually watched the show. And then you got this, like I said, what's the dude, Black Man or whatever like that, Dr. Manhattan?
Yeah.
Blue dick swinging around and shit like that. I'm like, what the fuck? That's why they're watching. So they tricked me into watching the show because that's what they're watching for. I'm like, are y'all actually getting this show, what they're talking about? No. What the fuck, man? But okay.
But yeah, but Regina King got her groove back.
You're right. And you know, I almost see this like it's like we look at ourselves like Superman and Batman's like put ourselves in the shoes of these characters. Like they're putting themselves in the shoes of Regina King.
Mm-hmm.
So she's the girlfriend of Dr. Manhattan. They're like, yeah, I'm the girlfriend of Dr. Manhattan. Might as well. So whatever. Okay. Move past that. Let's talk about the video game section.
All right.
All right. So yeah. So the video game section was actually pretty interesting. We had the video game awards that came out, and some interesting things that were revealed on the video game awards. Some game won Sekiro or something like that. Some like hard ass Japanese game, whatever like that. Won greatest game of the year. Whatever. But the Xbox was released. The new Xbox coming out next year was released.
Okay.
They showed what it looked like, showed the specs on everything like that. Eli, this is the ugliest looking console I've ever seen in my life. Shit, look, it's ugly, man. It's like just a big black brick, man. This is what it looked like. I don't know where the fuck I'm gonna put this shit. No. And so, but here's what they're gonna call it. So, like, you got the Xbox 360 and the Xbox One. This one's gonna be called the Xbox.
The Xbox?
The Xbox.
With the or a D-A.
Xbox. Like, Xbox. No, I think it's just Xbox. That's it. But it would be cool. Now that I think about it, it would be cool if they put it, like, not Batman, but the Batman. Just the Xbox. You got to say the whole thing together. But I think that's going to be it. So it's just, even though I had an Xbox before, back in 2002, now I get another one. So, and also was announced, Vin Diesel has a Fast and Furious game coming out. So Vin Diesel and Michelle Rodriguez were both there, and they announced that they have a Fast and Furious game, and it's the best looking game I've seen on the PlayStation 2.
On the
graphics look fucking horrible, man. Like, come on, Vin Diesel, you can do better than this. You know, and then they keep on going, we're gamers. We game all the time. Don't we, Michelle Rodriguez? She's like, yes, we play games all the time. We in our trailers doing the movies, we already playing Street Fighter and The Ken. I'm like, The Ken? What is The Ken? Oh, you mean Tekken? Like, okay, get the fuck out of here.
The fuck?
I'm like, get the fuck out of here, man. Okay, so yeah, that's them. I think what else was announced? Oh, my Christmas present that I bought to myself, Eli. Guess what I bought?
Another fucking PC?
I should have, but no, not now. That's coming down the road. I went and bought an Xbox One X.
Oh, yeah, you said that. Yeah.
Did I?
Yeah, you haven't opened it yet? Or you didn't open it?
No, I've opened and played it. I think
okay.
I'm sorry. We talk about so much shit on the show. I forget what I talked about. I don't know if I was talking to you about it or a coworker. I don't know. But here's the funny thing. I cranked it up, played it, and I actually played like an old Xbox 360 game. This is the game I played, Ninja Gaiden 2. Now, you know, I've been talking about this game forever. I bought the Xbox One just to play Ninja Gaiden 2. That one game. Mm-hmm. Now, here's the thing about Ninja Gaiden 2. It's one of the hardest games ever made of all time. I played it, but the thing is when I played on the Xbox 360, when you play it and it's throwing so much shit at you, sometimes the game might slow down because of lag, and you can kind of catch what the fuck's going on. Not on this one. On this one, this shit is locked at 60 frames per second the entire time. So this shit never slows down. So they're just beating the fuck out of me the whole time when I'm playing this game. And it's fast when I played before, and I can remember any of the shit I used to play before. So I can't even get off the first level. So I'm not gonna Twitch stream this shit because I'm getting my ass beat too much. And I start thinking about myself, Eli, why do we punish ourselves like this? Why do we spend money to get our ass beat?
To get pissed off and shit?
Yeah, am I a masochist? I mean, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Sick pleasure out of this? I don't know. Yeah, that's all I got. That being said, can we move on to the next part of the podcast?
Sure.
Okay, so like I said, this is Comic Book Bullies. This is where we talk about the comic books, and this is where we're actually going to talk about the comic books of the week. And we're going to dive into it. And Eli, should I start off first with the X-Minute?
Good.
Okay, because apparently, according to Comic Cast, we get all the news from them as far as the X-Men. So, first book we're going to talk about is X-Force number 3. X-Force number 3, yeah. Okay, so what we got going on? Basically, the book starts off with Wolverine and Quentin Quire. Not Quentin Quagmire. I fucked his name up last time. Quentin Quire, Kid Omega. They're just running through a whole bunch of mutant zombies and shit like that, trying to find a way through Domino. They find Domino, and half her skin has been peeled off on the right side. But she's still alive, barely, but she's still alive. They're trying to get her out of the building, and but they can't because there's so many damn monsters in it and shit like that. But then Domino's like, Logan, I got a mutant inhibitor collar on me. I can't use my powers. So he takes his claw, chops shit off, and Kid Omega's powers come back because they had like a mutant inhibitor on him too. To get his powers, they blow up some shit, blow up the factory and stuff like that, and then make their way out of it. Meanwhile, Magneto is having a press conference because there's rumors that Professor X has been assassinated. So they ask him, has Professor X been assassinated, stuff like that? So before Magneto can talk, Professor X walks out of the portal also. He was like, Magneto, don't say anything. I'll talk to him, tell him what the hell's going on. And they're like, what the fuck? So, yeah. So Jean Grey did find Cerebro, fix it, and cloned another body for Charles Xavier to walk around with. So, yeah, Professor X is back. But the reporters don't believe it. Like, Professor X, we heard you was assassinated. How do we know you're not like a Skrull or some shit? They're like, well, how do you know I wasn't a Skrull before? They're like, well, got a point. So he tells them everything's cool, everything's fine. They try to assassinate him, but they're gonna figure out what's going on, and that's it. So back at the what they call it, the Quiet Council, back at the Krakoa meeting or whatever like that, they're all sitting in the room. We see Domino. She's got like those Krakoan tree grafts on her, so basically they're trying to like re-heal her and shit like that. And Professor X is basically like, okay, they try to make an attempt on my life. Well, they actually did make an attempt on my life, but we need to find out what the fuck's going on. But we need to make sure this is quiet. So, like I said, we are a nation, just like everybody else. They got the CIA. They got the KGB. They got MI6. Well, guess what? We got the X-Force. That's looks at Wolverine like, you're going to be my 007. We're going to have our covert black ops underground spy team that's going to do shit and find out what the fuck's going on. And the book basically ends with the secret underground team that, kidnapped Domino in the first place, and they say, we are Xeno. And that's how the book ends. So, yeah. Overall, I was going to skip this book because there's too many goddamn X-Men books coming out. It's starting to crank this shit up, Eli. It was 3 this week.
No, yeah?
Yeah. Next week, it's 5. Alone. 5 books alone. I'm not doing this shit, man. I can't. I'm getting 1 a book a week. I usually budget, like I said, comic books are a budget. I budget for 3, maybe 4 books a week. I am not buying 5 fucking X-Men books. If I do that, I can't read anything else.
Yeah.
So I just can't do it. This is the same shit that killed the X-Men in the 90s. Cranking these books out left and right. Now, if you pace this shit out, gave me like a X-Men book a week, like a different one, like X-Force, X Factor, X whatever, I'd be cool. This 3, 4, 5 books a week shit, can't do it. So
yeah, no shit.
Yeah, overall, I'm gonna give it 3.5 out of 5. That is my X-Minute. Now I'm gonna pass it to you, Eli, so you can do your X-Minute.
I'm doing an X-Minute?
I thought you were.
Did you read New Mutants?
That's what we talked about earlier.
You didn't read New Mutants?
Hell no. I told you I had a budget.
Oh, man. So I got to do New Mutants.
You got to do New Mutants. Yeah, sorry.
Okay. What the fuck happened in this fucking shit? New Mutants number 3. Yeah, for some reason, it's a whole new story.
What the fuck? How's it a new story? They were in space.
They were in space, but we're not in space in this one. We're back on Krakoa.
Holy fuck.
with Glob and what's this chick's name? Armor? I don't even know who the fuck this is.
Armor is a Josh Whedon creation back in Astonishing X-Men. She can form like armor.
Like force field and shit.
Yeah, force field and shit. Yeah, but she like a little girl and shit. Yeah.
Yeah, so her and Glob are like basically they go to Nebraska to basically she wants to free like she's like it's so cool here in Krakoa. I wish all mutants could experience this shit. So let's go find mutants that are out there, and they end up going to like Nebraska and find Beak. Is that his name? Beak, some duck, Howard the Duck reject dude.
Beak is cool. Beak
is he?
He's a mutant with no powers other than just a beak.
Yeah, he's just a duck. He's or a chicken. He's a chicken.
But he had only thing he's ever done is get a chick pregnant at the X-Mansion.
Yeah, he's got a family.
Because that's the thing happened. He was like, I just got a chick pregnant. That's it. That's the only thing he was useful for.
So they go to meet Beak in Nebraska, and he's married with kids and shit and on a farm. And then they get like ambushed by like these mercenaries, and they're like they want this. Oh yeah, there's some shit about drugs, these Krakoan drugs that fucking can cure this weird disease. You know, it explains it in one of those pages where you got to read shit. You know, it's trying to be Watchmen. You know how fucking there's some disease going on, and there's these Krakoan drugs that cure it. And when they go to Nebraska, Beak's dad is dying from it or something, and they give him the drugs. But then there's like this army of mercs come, and they're like, we want the drugs and shit. And that's kind of where it ends. And yeah.
I'm so glad I skipped this.
I was like, remember I said this year, I was like, I think I'm done.
You know what? Comic Cast, we apologize. We are going to get our X-Men news from you from now on.
Yeah.
Because we're jumping off this shit.
Yeah, I was like, I think I'm done. But there's, New Mutants number 3. Should I read this? Well, I bet Leroy's going to read it. And then I'll know what he's talking about. And I read it, and I'm like, fuck. I think there's a New Mutants coming out next week, too.
Yes, it is. And X-Force.
Yeah.
Like, no. I'm done, Marvel.
Yeah.
Oh, you got to slap a score on that.
I don't know. 2 out of 5? Fuck it, I don't know. I didn't care. When I picked this up, I was like, what the fuck is going on now? I thought we were in space. Who the fuck are these fucking assholes?
Oh, Marvel, they know how to fuck up a good thing. All right, next book I got is Superman number 18. And this is actually this is probably going to be the best-selling Superman book of this year. Not seen its best, and best-selling. I'm going to tell you what the fuck's going on. Just to spill Superman tells the world he's Clark Kent, basically. It's all over the news, everything like that. This is the book. Even though they told this same fucking story 5 years ago. But let's get to what's going on. So basically, Superman calls a press conference in front of Daily Planet as Superman, flies down, and everybody's like, Superman, what's going on? What are you going to tell us? He was like, yeah, I've been telling you. And before we do that, we get a flashback, him talking to Adam Strange, just having a conversation with Adam Strange. And he basically tells Adam Strange first, like, yeah, I got a secret identity back at home. He's like, secret identity? Are you Batman? He's like, yeah, I heard that joke before. You're like, no, I actually have like a job. He's like, Superman has a day job? Like, really? Yeah, I got a apartment, Netflix account, whole thing. He's like, but you're Superman. Like, you're a god. Why are you walking around as a human and shit? He's like, well, at first I did it for a reason because my parents raised me to be a human. But now I got a family. I got my wife. I got my son. I don't even know why I'm Clark Kent anymore. Like, I don't know either. It made no sense to have it. So he was like, you know what? You're right. So we go back to the before we get to the press conference, actually, he decides to talk to Lois Lane. He was like, yeah, Lois, what I'm going to do, all my closest friends, I'm just going to just go by them one by one and just tell them before I tell the world. So he goes to the Daily Planet, sits down, pretend like he's doing work. He uses X-ray vision, sees Perry White in there, doing work and shit like that. He walks into Perry's office, opens up his Superman emblem on his chest, and Perry White just walks up to him and hugs him. Like, there's no dialogue in the panel. It's actually like a pretty powerful panel, Then he goes to Gotham City to find Jimmy Olsen, who's taking pictures of a story. He's like, Jimmy, I got to talk to you for a second. And he takes Jimmy Olsen, flies him up to the rooftop. He was like, look, Jimmy, I trust you with my life, and I'm sorry I didn't trust you more than this, so I'm going to tell you what's really going on. And he puts his glasses on. He's like, look, since you're my best friend, I want you to have the first pictures of what's happening right now. He's like, what do you mean what's happening? I'm wearing glasses. I'm Clark Kent. Like, you just look like Superman with glasses to me. That's all. You're like, you dumbass. He like, yeah, Lois told me earlier today. So like, what the fuck? Lois already told you? Yeah, she told me earlier that you're Superman. I already know, so it's cool. So they bro hug it out and all this shit like that. But then he goes back to Lois. He like, Lois, why the hell you tell Jimmy that I was Superman? He was like, because I've known Jimmy longer than you've known him, so I should be the one to tell him because I had to hold your secret just like you did. He was like, well, how do you take it? Yeah, he cried on the phone when I told him. He's like, well, that's what I wanted to know when he did it. You're like, well, my fault. So we go back to the press conference and we see Superman. And he's basically telling everybody, yeah, look, the citizens of the world, yes, I'm Superman. My name is Kal-El. I come from a dead planet you don't even know about. You've never been there before. But I'm also something else. I'm also Clark Kent, Daily Planet reporter. I have a wife. I have a son. I've been living among you the whole time. And now I see no reason for me to keep this secret anymore. Yes, I am Clark Kent. I'm not going to stop being Clark Kent. But I just want to let the world know that I'm Clark Kent. And while he's telling this, you see it like on the television screen, everybody's, celebrating. You see like the Justice League applaud him in the background. Batman's in the Batcave with Damian. He just get like a little grin. The grin is like, I'm proud of you, Clark, And Supergirl and Crypto is like, oh, I can't believe he did that, So everybody's happy for him, And Superman's just like, you know what? I told you my secret. I'm good. I'm Clark Kent. Everybody, God bless, good night. And he just flies off. That's it. After we see all that, there's also another group of people watching this press conference, and that's the Legion of Doom. And what they're doing is laughing their ass off at Lex Luthor. They're like, you dumbass. How did you not know what the fuck was going on? Is this supposed to be the guy you're supposed to be trying to kill all these years? You didn't know he had a secret identity? And Lex Luthor just like, and the book ends with Lex Luthor just looking fucking pissed. You're like, this motherfucker had a secret the whole time and I didn't know. And that's the end of the book. So yes, people are pissed about this, but this is a much, much better story told than what it was 5 years ago when they did it. That was just Lois Lane just outed him in the Daily Public that was it. But this was actually like heartwarming and heartfelt, where Superman went to his different friends and family and would tell them the secret. It felt more earnest. It felt like it was earned. Now, yes, we know that 5G is coming. And then another crisis is coming. They're going to reboot the universe again, so probably none of this shit's going to matter anyway. But why not? Why not have the story? Well, let's see where it goes from there. Overall, I'm going to give the book a 4.5 out of 5. It was a well-told story, even though it probably won't stick. But it was still a well-told story. So, yeah, that's what I got.
All right. Should I do detective, I guess?
I mean, might as well. We're on DC.
All right. I'll do, yeah. So Detective 1017. This has Batman and Robin back together again. He's Damian is helping Bruce find like this runaway orphan, and it's just that it's basically them back together. That whole father and son dynamic. They're some really poignant moments and shit. They finally find the orphan, but he ends up dying, and this and they find out that the orphanage was sort of up to like shady shit, child kidnapping and shit like that. So this book does what you say should happen, because it's the Bruce Wayne owned the orphanage. Mm-hmm. Bruce Wayne goes and confronts the head of the orphanage and actually beats him up.
What the fuck?
Yeah, and Damian's like, dude, don't punch him too hard. You don't want to, we don't want anybody to know what good a fighter you are. Remember, you're Bruce Wayne. You're not Batman now.
Right.
So, but there was some really cool moments in this book. It's like there's like a flashback where we're talking about where we meet with Bruce and his mom when he was a kid, and how his mom, she came from a poor background, and she was talking about opening up the orphanage to help people and those, basically instilling that sort of compassion in Bruce, to help those who are less fortunate than he is. So those some really poignant family moments. And then we go to the dynamic between Damian and Bruce, and then them both sort of wanting to help this orphanage. And you see another side of Damian. So, that actually Damian actually gives a shit, that he's not a spoiled, rotten little shit that you're thinking. Yes. So yeah, this is a 4 out of 5. This is a good read. It was just a one shot too,
Nice. Okay. Okay. So another one shot we have coming up is The Dark Knight Returns: The Golden Child,
Oh yeah, I didn't read this.
written by Frank Miller.
Mm-hmm.
Now I wasn't gonna read this, but when it came on the national news controversy, I was like, oh, I gotta read this. I gotta talk about this. So let me paint the picture of what this story is about. Now, Eli, we talked about this before. Remember in the Dark Knight series 2, The Dark Knight Strikes Back, whatever it was, when Superman and Wonder Woman had sex in the sky, and the sex was so good it was like causing volcanoes and earthquakes and shit like that. And in the end,
she felt the earth move. Yeah.
Earth move, and then at the end she said, Clark, I think I'm pregnant.
Yeah.
Well, this book is about that baby.
Yeah. Well, the last book was The Master Race. She's in that too.
Oh, was she? Okay, I completely missed. Didn't read that. But,
Master Race actually wasn't bad.
was it? Okay, because
No,
Frank Miller worries me sometimes.
I no, go check it out. It's actually not bad.
I'll wait till I hit the DCU app if that's still a thing.
It might be on Comixology.
Might be. I might check it out. Okay.
But
And-
for free or whatever.
We'll see. It might be on there. So, like I said, this book is about the book. The baby's name was Jonathan Kent, and Laura Kent is still there, also another Supergirl of this universe. And what they're doing is that they're overlooking the skies, and they see a riot breaking out. Now, what the riot is about? The riot is about one side is voters, and the other side is jokers. And who are the voters protesting against? Well, they never say the name of the politician, but he looks like the spitting image of Donald Trump. Like they don't even shy away from it. It's Donald Trump. So, but they're saying they're voting for the governor, of the state or whatever Gotham is in. So it's just a riot breaking out, and it really reminds me of that. Remember that Antifa thing that happened a couple years ago?
Yeah, which one?
It's basically that.
Oh,
So,
okay.
yeah.
Just Antifa shit.
Yeah, basically that. So while they're fighting over each other, stuff like that, all of a sudden, now Carrie Kelly has now graduated to becoming the Batwoman of this universe. So
Yeah.
Batman is nowhere in this book at all. So
Mhm.
it's all about Carrie Kelly. She's Batwoman. So she shows up with the SOBs. Now, if you don't know who the SOBs are the Sons of Batman.
Sons of Batman.
Yeah, her army and shit like that. So they start beating the shit out of the Jokers. The Jokers are basically like the Trump supporters, or not Trump support, whatever, and versus the regular voters. They got the signs up, no more, and like, not more years or no more him or some shit like that. So they start beating the shit out of them, stuff like that. After they beat the fuck out of everybody, stuff like that, they go back to the Batcave, and Laura, the Supergirl, whatever like that, she's like, okay, this shit is no. Or one of them says, this shit is too crazy. These voters are acting too crazy over just a damn election. So that means there's only got to be one thing that's going on with this. It's got to be Darkseid using the anti-life equation to control them over going crazy with this election, because there's no way normal, rational people would go this insane. We're like, okay. And then the next page, we see Darkseid. Like he's actually in the book. It's Darkseid teaming up with the Joker. Even though the Joker has been dead in these books, he's back. I don't care. He's back, whatever. So, yes, they've rigged the election the entire time. Matter of fact, Joker actually has a Trump puppet on his hand, showing him that Trump is one of their puppets. They've been funding him and bankrolling him the whole time for this election. So, yeah, weird as fuck. So while they're sitting there talking about their evil scheme and how they're gonna put Trump in office so he can do whatever the fuck they want him to do, that's when Laura and Jonathan see them outside and just use their super speed and start beating the shit out of everybody and get to a fight with Darkseid. Fight goes on a long time. That's pretty much the majority of the book is just Darkseid versus the super kids or whatever like that. And he actually uses the anti-life equation on Supergirl, to control her. But Jonathan Kent is just like, no, you're not going to control her. You're not going to do anything, Darkseid. Obviously, this kid is like stupid powerful. So he does, like when Darkseid uses Omega Beam on him, he Dragon Ball Z battle, beam versus him with his super beam, overpowers Omega Beam, blows up Darkseid, and somehow gets inside of Darkseid and like zaps all of his Omega energy away from him. So when Darkseid is there, he's just like a human. Like you see Batgirl throws a Batwoman, whatever, like throws a rock at him and actually like makes him bleed. Like what the fuck? And then the book ends with the humans or the protesters rushing Darkseid. That's how the book ends. Yeah.
Is there going to be another one?
Well, they Frank Miller said it's one shot. I actually
Okay.
watched a interview with him about this book. He said it's just one shot. So apparently, this isn't a series. This isn't even a mini series. Just one issue book, and that's it.
Is it Black Label?
It is Black Label. Yeah.
No.
So yeah, overall, this book was 3 out of 5. I sped through it as much as possible. It's pretty much, it didn't need to be as long as it was. Story was kind of confusing because Darkseid's doing some old crazy Darkseid shit. He does the whole Darkseid is, anti-life equation, all this shit like that. Frank Miller, I don't know. My thing is, like, why is Frank Miller? I thought he was like a racist ass, right wing dude anyway. Why is he doing a book with Trump is?
I don't think he was. Well, I don't.
Have you read that Holy Terror book where he had a fake ass Batman shooting killing Muslims?
Well, yeah, I think he. I think he has a. A little. Yeah, he's got some prejudice against over 9/11.
Maybe he's calmed down since then, like that, because they even showing a scene where Joker has the I don't care, do you jacket on, the one that Melania Trump.
Oh, that what's her face?
Yeah, he wear that. Matter of fact, they have pictures posted of the Joker. Joker got kids shit like that, and they drew pictures of Trump on the wall, and it's got one of him like choking a cat, grabbing by the pussy. He's building a wall. It's like some of the other shit I couldn't make out, but it's like all that shit is on the wall right there. So they're like really leaning into the shit. This is like,
so he's just Frank Miller, just nuts. He's anti-Muslim. He's anti-Trump.
It's like, pick a side, man. You can't be.
He's anti-everything.
Like he just like anything that's popular, he just hates it because like all these like I said, anytime you put Trump into a comic, these comic skaters are gonna go nuts. It's like, oh, you SJWs, you left wingers, you libtards, always going orange man bad and all this shit like that. I'm like, this is Frank Miller. He's more right wing than you guys are. At least I thought he was. So, I'm confused, man. At first when I saw the thing, I was like, maybe like Frank Miller's doing like a commentary where he's really making fun of liberals, because he's done this shit before. So I don't know.
Yeah. But New Yorkers are a weird bunch. That's all I can say.
I guess, but at the same time, though, this isn't new territory for Frank Miller. He's done this shit before. Go back to the original Dark Knight Returns, the original book, and that's Ronald Reagan is in that book, and Ronald Reagan is a supreme asshole in that book.
And Superman works for him.
And Superman works for him, right? Yeah. So yeah, and people are always saying like Trump is like the second coming of Ronald Reagan, with the same policies and all this stuff like that, But like I said, he hated Ronald Reagan then, and now he's talking shit about Trump now. People are saying, "Oh, Frank Miller has gone woke." I'm like, really? He's always done this shit?
I wouldn't say he's gone woke, but
That don't even make sense. A woke Frank Miller. I'm almost scared to even say that shit.
Frank Miller's fucking nuts. That's all I can say.
He is.
He definitely needs some help.
I'm so confused right now, man. I just knew that I don't know what to say.
He's the fucking American fucking Alan Moore is what he is. Alan Moore is a fucking warlock or some shit, isn't he?
Yeah, some shit. And Frank Miller's just like, fuck it. Just
Frank Miller's fucking Rorschach.
That's exactly who he reminds me of, basically. I don't know what to believe anymore. But yeah, 3 out of 5 for this book. It was nothing to read. The Trump thing was just seemed like it was just triggering people just to trigger people for no reason.
Yeah.
So, didn't even need it. Like if you took it out of the book, this book wouldn't even been on the radar for anybody.
Like I said, Frank Miller's a New Yorker. He grew up in New York, and New Yorkers know who the fuck Donald Trump is.
True. Didn't y'all like boo him or something like that? I think like he was at a New York something and they booed him. I don't know. It was like recent.
Yeah, well, it was at the World Series. One of the World Series.
That's what it was. The World Series. Yeah, they booed him. I'm like, dang, he's from New York. Fuck it.
Yeah. No, they know who they know. He's a rich asshole. They don't fucking New Yorkers keep it real. They're a bunch of they know.
I want to know what was going through Frank. I'm scared too, but I want to know where Frank Miller's mind was, where he was at when he wrote this. So I'm pretty sure I don't want to know, but I want to know. So that's all I got. I'm booked out. So Frank Miller has drained me.
Shit, damn! I got what I got. I got that Ghost Rider #3.
Go for it. I did all the work last week, so.
Ghost Rider. Man, so this book starts out, Ghost Rider number 3, starts out in limbo. Belasca? Was that his name? Belasco?
I don't know.
Belasco? He fucking, he's some demon guy, I guess. I don't know.
Oh,
he's in limbo.
Did he have like a bigger bike than Ghost Rider or something?
Well, he was riding a horse. He had a big giant sword and shit.
Oh, I don't know the guy.
So he's like a Viking or something. And then there's some Indian native Ghost Rider in a headdress who gets killed like right away. And I was like,
kill a Ghost Rider.
Really? What the fuck?
They're immortal. They still find a way to kill them.
What the fuck? It's like, even the Indian demon gets killed. Sounds like the first 2 pages. I was like, I don't even know who this Indian Ghost Rider is. He's just some, Indian skull guy in a headdress on a horse shooting bows and arrows and shit.
Can't be killed, but he found a way to kill him.
And then he killed him. He totally, this Belasco guy kills him. He like totally disappears, but then it goes, what's been going on in this book. So Danny Ketch has taken over hell, but then a bunch of demons have escaped. So he went back to Earth and he's looking for them. He tries to, get Danny Ketch to help him, but Danny Ketch is like, fuck that, I hate the Ghost Rider. So they fight in the last issue, and Johnny Blaze ripped the Spirit of Vengeance out of Danny Ketch. So Danny Ketch ain't got the Spirit of Vengeance anymore. And then he threw him off the Brooklyn Bridge. Okay. So this basically picks up there after this whole thing in limbo where they kill an Indian demon. Danny Ketch is recovering. The caretaker's there telling him, hey man, there's some shit going down and you need to fucking step up and do some shit. And of course it mainly deals with Danny Ketch's, he's feeling conflicted about everything. He's like, I don't have nothing to do with the Spirit of Vengeance. I hate that shit. I don't want to be a part of it. But they're like, no, this is a demon war going on. You have the ability to stop it. You need to do this shit. So that's basically what it is. He comes to terms with it. There was a pretty, poignant scene between him and Stacy, his girlfriend, his ex-girlfriend. It's like, you know what? They sort of have a moment where they're like, the reason why we broke up is because you were always hiding shit from me. If you would have just been honest, we would have been all good, but you're always hiding and shit. And he's like, well, I didn't protect you, man. I was a fucking demon, So this is a nice little moment there, but then we flash back to Johnny Blaze. He's going around trying to find these demons. These demons are on their way to Las Vegas, and they're trying to free Mephisto, who's imprisoned in Las Vegas somewhere. And that's where they're going, and that's kind of where it ends. They're in Las Vegas.
Right, because Las Vegas is hell. Thank you, Donny Cates.
Yeah. So 3 out of 5.
I'm looking at that Native American Ghost Rider. I'll be honest with you, Eli. He looks kind of badass shooting those fire arrows.
Yeah, well, then look at the next page where he dies. That's not badass.
Yeah, well, like one hit and that's it. Like, I'm dead.
Yeah, and he talks mad shit to him. Yeah, I'd give you a message, but you're dead. You ain't saying shit to anybody. Just had to rub it in too. And then I read a bunch of I forgot about Immortal Hulk.
Oh yeah, I know you got to do that one.
Yeah, a new Immortal Hulk. This was really cool. So this basically, we're dealing with this older guy, a boomer, if you will, who's basically like, where's my America? What's going on with the kids today? They're all protesting and shit. And then he goes, because what's been going on is the Hulk has sort of sparked this whole protest movement with the youth. The youth are running around protesting Roxxon and all the shit they're doing. They got Hulk masks, kind of like those Guy Fawkes masks,
mm-hmm.
Those anonymous masks. They're all running around doing these protests. And then there's this old white guy. He some security. He works for some security firm, and he's like basically going to work, and he's basically complaining the whole time. What's going on with the kids? This country used to be great. Everyone used to believe in God and all this shit, and the devil is basically taking everybody's souls and making this country go down the tubes and all this shit. And then he goes to work, and it turns out he's guarding some Roxxon facility. And then a bunch of kids show up and protesting outside. And he comes out and he pulls his fucking gun on the protesters.
Oh, no,
and he's like ready to shoot. He's like, I have a right to shoot. It's like a stand your ground state. I have a right to defend myself, all this blah, 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 blah. And then he sees in the crowd his daughter is one of the protesters.
Oh, okay.
And I'm like, oh, shit. And like an asshole, he decides to pull the trigger. But then the bullet is stopped because the Hulk jumped in front of the bullet.
Okay.
Yeah. Then we cut to meanwhile, while that's going on, the Minotaur is basically commenting on what's going on. Like, what the fuck's going on with the kids these days? We built them this big social media empire. We give them, all these apps and video games. We give them all this shit to do that they worship, and all they want to do is protest my company for it. It's like, what the hell? We gotta do something about this. And they go to Monster Island, and they get, I don't know if it's the Yeti or whatever. Some big furry beast shows up at the end and says to be continued.
Okay.
So, pretty cool. Very political. This book started out as like a kind of a horror book, Now the last few issues have gone very political, which I don't mind.
Right.
It's commenting on current events and protest movements and corporations, the inequality of wealth and all that, and the generation gap. With this guy, he obviously a boomer, resenting the younger generation and all that. So I give it a 4 out of 5. This was cool.
Okay, cool.
And then I read a bunch of indie books. That new Aliens versus Predator. Thicker Than Blood, pretty cool. We're basically on some luxury spaceship, kind of like a ocean liner in space, and it starts getting attacked by a predator. And this little girl and her little brother is basically trying to escape this predator. The little brother turns out to be an android, and he's kind of like showing her through the ship. Leading her through the ship. They find the Predator ship, and they get on it, and then they find an alien on there, and that's where it ends. So it's Alien versus Predator. So pretty cool. I like these alien. I love that whole Alien versus Predator universe. I'm a fan of them. Whenever a book comes out, I always check it out. So I give that a 4 out of 5. The new Something is Killing the Children came out. This is the first one that I felt it dragged a little bit. The investigation is going on. There's some monsters killing these kids in this town. This monster slayer shows up and is trying to look for this monster. A little bit slow, this one. It's a little bit more exposition. This one kind of slowed down a little bit, so I give it a 3 out of 5, but I'm still intrigued at the story. Cool horror book. And then the last book I read was the Hack Slash 15th anniversary special. So Tim Seeley, who I met at a con last month, and I actually had him sign my Hack Slash #1.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So this is the 15th anniversary of his creation, Hack Slash. Casey Hack, she teams up with this sort of big monster guy, and they go around killing slashers, like Jason Voorhees type of guys, Freddy Krueger's. They go around the country killing these supernatural killers. And that's pretty much it. This book is sort of kind of an anthology, kind of like a, like an annual where you have like a bunch of short stories. There's a few short stories in there. One written by Tim Seeley, which is sort of a meta take on, Casey Hack's character and how she comes to life and actually meets Tim Seeley, and they have a conversation and they talk about, what she's been doing and, kind of just a tongue-in-cheek reference of, I'm just a fetish to you, and she kind of confronts the creator, and it's funny. It's kind of fun, and then it's just got a lot of like art, pinups and artwork and factoids and stuff. It was all right, 3 out of 5. It's just a celebration of this series. So, and I believe that's it. I think, yeah, fuck it, that's it. I'm done.
Okay. Like I said, we ran through a whole lot of stuff in this. It's episode, but we had to. 'Cause like I said, next episode we're just gonna talk about just nothing but Star Wars.
Oh yeah.
And actually, Eli, the first reactions have already hit on Twitter so far. Like I said, I think the embargo was ended, and people are going crazy. They're loving it so far.
No shit.
But
they love The Last Jedi.
They love The Last Jedi also. So hey, we'll see how it goes from there. We gotta wait for the Disney check to clear before they.
Yeah.
Like I said, if you listen this long, definitely listen to our other podcasts we have. We have Geek Sav, our sister podcast. We also have Comic Cast, which is probably gonna do all the books we didn't do. Probably gonna love all the books we hated, and vice versa. Oh, and go listen to all the X books we didn't do also. We also have Get Valiant, Hoodoo TV, Wrestling Council, got it right that time.
Oh, yeah.
Talking Balls, got that right this time. And Instruments in Instruction, I think I got that right. Yeah,
that's right.
I think I got it right. I think that's all of it. Might be some other ones, but I'm forgetting them. Yeah, like I said, next week we're just gonna do nothing but. Should we do Doomsday Clock or not?
I'm probably gonna read it, so it's up to you, man.
We'll see. I'm gonna read it. Gonna read it. We'll see how it goes from there. But we're gonna do. It'd be weird to do Star Wars and Doomsday Clock, because the people that's gonna listen to Star Wars are not gonna read Doomsday Clock. But we'll see how it goes from there. Until then, this is Leroy.
This is Eli.
And we'll talk to you guys next week. Same bullet time, same bullet channel.